Hey guys, welcome to another episode of PC Building Simulator. We're back in free mode again today. Looking at two PCs here on the left, we've got the most expensive PC build you can make right now in PC Building Simulator version 1.8. If you haven't seen that video, go check out my channel. It's on there, you'll see it. On the right, we've got the cheapest all AMD build you can currently build in the game. If you haven't seen that, I'll put a link up in the upper right hand corner. Today, we're gonna build the ultimate $10,000 sleeper build. Yeah, I put a budget on it. If I didn't put a budget on this build, we'd end up with something like I've got on the left that I've already built. Just a really expensive PC in a very unassuming case. So I wanted to lower the budget a little bit, maybe to something that some people could afford. Not me, but somebody out there. So I want to stick as close as I can to 10,000 bucks. If we go a couple of dollars over or a couple of dollars under, I'm not going to let it bother me too much. We're still going to call it the $10,000 sleeper build. So we're going to start off with this case. This is the Fractal Design Define R6 in gunmetal. It's got this nice brushed look to it. Very classy looking case. Very unassuming though. You would not guess what we're gonna pack into this thing. So let's hop into it now. Let's get the side panels taken off. Let's just remove all the things because we've got to have all the space we can in here. We need these drive bays gone. We're not gonna use those. So we're building a really sweet PC. I personally would use it for gaming, so I don't need a bunch of storage. Don't need a bunch of storage whatsoever. This little thing slides too, just so you know, if you ever build in this case. This thing slides back and forth, so you can adjust how you want to build in this case. This is a really neat case. It really is. It really is. Let's get started though. Let's get a motherboard in here. I'm going to go with the X299 platform. And I'm going to go with this one here, the Aorus Gaming 9. There's not too much difference between the two. I think the other one is a little more expensive, the Designair version of this motherboard. But I think this one looks really nice. It goes good in this case. It fits well. Fits really well. Let's get this thing ready for CPU and RAM though. We're going to put 8 full sticks of RAM in this thing. We're also going to put a bunch of M.2 drives in it because it's got 3 slots for M.2 drives and we're going to fill them all up. First, let's get the CPU in there. Let's go to CPU processors. We're going to do the 10940X. The newest 10th gen i9 for the X299 platform. Yeah, if you look over there at the side, it's a $1,600 CPU. But man, is it nice. Love to have one. Be fun to have something that powerful. Let's get some RAM in there too. We're gonna go with a Trident Z Royal. We'll do silver because I think gold is just way too gaudy personally. I don't care for it, but the silver I think looks really nice. We're gonna go for the 16 gig, 3200 megahertz, and we're gonna put 8 sticks of that in here. I wish they made it in colors other than gold and silver. I like it because I like the look of the top. Where the LEDs are, where it lights up, it looks kind of like ice or something. I think it looks excellent. Looks really nice. Let's get all 3 of these NVMe drive slots open. We're gonna get some storage in here. We're gonna go for the what was it? Corsair MP 500 M.2. We're gonna go for the biggest one, 960 gigs. So we're gonna have almost 3 terabytes of M.2 storage. So this thing's gonna be nice and fast. Load all of our games. And they'll load up super quick. Super, super quick. So, now we need to talk about cooling and graphics cards. Because if we're going to build this sweet PC, we definitely want it custom water cooled. I mean, seriously. Seriously. So let's go over to our custom water cooling section. Let's get some radiators. We're going to go for Corsair radiators. And as much as I'd like to do the thick ones in here, they don't really fit. These XR7s are super thick, and they cause some issues in this case. So we're going to go for the XR5. We're going to do two, though. We're going to do a 360 and a 240. We're going to do a 360 up here in the front. And we're going to do a 240 up in the top. Like so. Like so. Now we need a reservoir. We're going to go with the biggest one. Or one of the biggest ones. We're going to go with this Alpha Cool. 250 millimeter. Oh, is it going to be a pain? It's going to be a pain. It's going to be a pain. It fits there. Sometimes you have to fiddle around to get it to actually mount. And I don't know why. Sometimes you have to close this thing and open it back up. And then you can get it to mount. Give me a sec. I'm going to step away. I'm going to get this thing mounted. And I'll be right back. Alright, finally got it in. Had to remove this radiator and open and close this thing a couple of times. And then it let it install. I don't get it. I don't get it. This top plate does come out, though, up here. And you can remove that. And sometimes that does it, too. But this just required me opening and closing it a couple of times. And for whatever reason, that allowed it to fit. That allowed it to fit. I don't get it. I don't get it. But hey, it's in there. So it works. We're going to go with an EK Supremacy CPU block. We're going to go with full nickel because that almost matches the shininess of that RAM. Not really, but it's sort of close. It's at least the same color. And sometimes that's all that matters. All that matters. Let's get this thing ready for some graphics cards. I think these are the slots they go in. Could be wrong. We'll find out in a minute. We're going to go down here to water-cooled GPUs. And we're going to go with a couple of Aorus. We're not going to do the 2080 Ti. We're going to do these 2080 Supers. We're going to do two of those. Maybe if it'll let us install them. There we go. There's one. There's the second one. Like I said, we're trying to keep this around $10,000, and if I'd gone with the 2080 Ti's, we'd be well over the $10,000 range. So I'd like to stick a little bit closer to that. Now we need a power supply. Let's go with the Corsair 1000 watt. Let's see, which one is it? I think it's the RM1000X. Oh. Of course. Of course. RM1000X. Let's get that thing installed. Let's unplug that. I want to put that little mounting plate, the PSU mount, back on. There we go. There we go. I think we're ready to cable this up. So let's go with some unassuming cables as well. Let's go with these ribbon braided plain light gray. I think they're going to go really nice with this build. So let's get everything cabled. And then we need to pipe this. Yep, then we need to pipe this. So, let's go with rigid. I'd like to do the nickel. And then we're going to do these black nickel fittings as well. Black nickel fittings. So hopefully it looks really, really nice. Let's get these graphics cards connected together here. We'll start with that. We'll run out of this one. Does that say out? That does say out. And we will run into there. Let's see if we can make this thing look nice. Don't really like the angle it's at. Let's see if we can straighten this up. Drop it down. I can live with that. That looks pretty dang nice. So we're going to run into there. We're going to run out of this. And we're going to run into this radiator. Let's see if we can do something a little nicer with the way that looks. Let's see. Yeah, I'm going to step away. I'm going to get this thing all done. I'm just going to go ahead and finish out all the tubing so we don't waste time messing around. And I'll be right back. All right, there we go. All the tubing is run. Got it all nice and straight. Took me longer than I would like to admit to get everything as straight as I wanted it. But I think it turned out really good. Really, really good. Let's get some coolant in there. Let's go with this black flecked coolant. Look at that. Let that run through. Got a lot of loop to go through here. We're on this graphics card. It's just about done. Just about done. There we go. There we go. Let's get a USB drive in here. And let's power this thing up. Let's hop into the BIOS. Let's turn our XMP on. I don't care which one of these we boot from, to be quite honest with you. Let's let this thing install the operating system. There we go. We're going to put our lighting app on. Make a couple of changes. I do want to put 3D Mark on there. OCCT. And GPU tuner. Let this thing restart, and then we're going to run a 3D Mark test just to see what we get, and then we're going to try to overclock it a little bit and see if we can make it better. Alright, I'm going to get 3D Mark running. As soon as I have a score, I'll come right back and show you. Oh man, there it is, 18,561. That's a pretty dang good score. Let's change some colors real quick. Let's just make everything match. All that the same? Is that the same? Hold on. Is that the same color as that? Looks to be. Looks to be. Well, let's select everything. Let's apply that. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's nice. Let's put some of this case back together before we get started with some overclocking. Let's get our dust panels on here. Let's see what else we got. We've got the top panel. We got this side panel. And we got the front panel. I'm going to leave this side panel off for now because I think that's about it. We could add a whole lot of drives to this thing. if we didn't have all that water cooling stuff in there. Yeah. So 18,561. I'm going to step away. I'm going to see what kind of overclock I can get on the GPU. I'm not going to mess with the CPU. These X299 things, usually you can get a little bit of overclock out of them, but it's a lot of work for very little return. So I'm going to leave it as it is, but I'm going to see what I can get out of these graphics cards. And as soon as I've got a stable overclock, I'm going to come back and show you guys. All right, so I think we've got this thing stable now. So we are at 2,170 megahertz. We're 310 megahertz over the base core clock. So 2.17 gigahertz, 116% overclock. We're hitting about 94, a little over 94 degrees on the GPU. Well, on that one, the second GPU is only hitting about 89. So we're going to go ahead. Let's close this out. No, I already applied that, but I did it anyway. Let's close all this stuff out. I'm going to get 3D Mark running. As soon as I've got a score, if this thing decides to blue screen, I will come right back and show you guys. All right, there it is, 20,569. If you forgot, the original number we got without the overclock was 18,561, so we got a pretty nice overclock on that. I can't complain. Can't complain. So there it is. There it is, the $10,000 ultimate sleeper build. There it is with the side off so you can see in it. Let's put the side back on it. And there's what it looks like with the side on. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell for more content like this. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Stay safe out there. Be sure to wash your hands, and I will see you in the next episode.